Yo, what's going on? It's TNS, Soul Central TV, Soul Central Magazine. We on the move, West Palm edition, with the lovely Jessica Empress McCready, the bubbly gangster. It's good. Last time I saw you, you were doing Poetry in Motion at the Improv, and now you're here at Mozart Theater doing the stage play, doing Pleasant City. So talk about what you've been up to between Poetry in Motion and Pleasant City.
Well, between Poetry in Motion and Pleasant City, I guess it was a lot of life in between it. Between productions, you kind of have to live so you can have something to produce. So what was going on with me was basically I lived in Pleasant City. I live in an art loft around there. So we're trying to reach out to people in the community. So Pleasant City has been, you know, that's where I live. And then plus it has been like so much, we know what's going on now. All this police brutality, basically, so many ways. So those were topics that stuck out to me very, very much so. And then the issues that we go through, you know, as people who live in the hood. So that's what I've been living, basically. And I've been living around people going through things like my hair. So, you are so rude. This is my brother. He did.
Brown beard, black beard.
He was there from the first Poetry in Motion to the last.
That's what's up.
Yeah, stage manager, everything, like set design, exhibiting, publicist, all that. But pretty much that's life, you know?
That's what's up. Yeah, tell me about how you got in touch with Mozart Theater to put on this production. Because a lot of people live in life, but see, you put the business to it, you're making things happen. So talk about that process. Talk about how you got in touch with Mozart.
You just gotta call them, you know? You gotta call them. They gave us the go ahead. Once we told them about the project and what we were gonna do, they were really gung ho about it, you know? So we just set up a date. We decided to do it 2 days instead of one. So we did Friday and Saturday. And you know, Mozart's been real with us, and they were really nice to us.
Definitely. So what's next for Pleasant City?
Pleasant City. What we plan on doing is we plan on taking it on the road, of course. We're gonna do one more tour. West Palm, probably try to branch out to Fort Lauderdale, Miami, so we can start just establishing more, getting more artists on board with the Poetry in Motion movement, of course, and then we're going to reach out to the youth. So we're going to do a Pleasant City for the teenagers where they will create their own Pleasant City, just taking the method that we use, because the method that we use for creation is very different than the method that anybody else uses. There are no scripts. There are no anything. We are no paper production. So it's not scripted. A lot of it is written by the cast members because it's all poetry, dance, and creative works. So I have a shell in my head, and they kind of bring that shell to life. So, and that's how we want the kids to do it too. So the kids are going to do their own Pleasant City. They're going to give me a theme. They're going to give me everything. I'm going to pick it up for them, and they're going to make it happen. So that's what's up for Poetry in Motion Productions.
That's definitely what's up. I'm going to backtrack a little bit. How did you get interested in becoming a playwright?
I started doing poetry, and then one day I was like, I see a little show in my head, and that was the show, you know? I didn't really think of it as like a play or anything. I called it a show. I was like, it's a show, and this is what I want to do. And I knew I danced, so when I created shows for dance, they were 5 to 7 minute shows, but they still had to tell a story. So I was just used to cutting up songs, chopping up songs and making them stories, but really you can chop up poems, dialogue, and songs and make it a story. So that's how it came about. The whole playwright title and all that stuff comes along with like when you have to introduce people to who you are technically.
So it must be really exciting to have all that spontaneous energy.
Yeah.
As far as with artists. How do you get in touch with the artists? How do you decide when you see somebody, you say, you know what, they would fit in my production?
It takes, you know, passion, of course, and anybody who's willing to work. You know, if you got talent, if you just out there raw, pretty much I'm interested, you know? And then the whole work ethic of it part is kind of like what sets artists that are ready or not apart. You know, we work a lot. We rehearse twice a week together. They're long, they're late, so that whole process is kind of like a weeding out process.
Of who's serious and who's not.
Who makes it to, you know, who's ready for prime time.
Okay, definitely. Where are some places that you've seen artists? Like, talk about some of the different locales where you notice people, where you find the people that you can start the weeding out process.
Open mic nights are always nice, but my friends, it just so happens that everybody on my cast now is somebody who I've known for a minute. My best friend is in the play. A friend of mine from a couple of years ago, I met her at an open mic night, you know. Dancers that I met along the way at workshops, or a dance crew that I danced with, Dominique. He has a dance crew, so, you know, they were my fellow dance members when I danced with him. They came on board, so it's just a whole bunch of family together, basically. We just got together, so it's just a whole bunch of people I know. They friends, they invite somebody, friends of friends. It's just a family situation.
Okay, so I know you're definitely rocking with Pleasant City right now. How long till the next one? Or do you just wait for that? How do you decide when it's time to do a new stage play, or do you just continue pushing Pleasant City? Is it something you force? Is it something that happens with current events? Or when do you decide, you know what, it's time to start the next one?
Yeah, I think we are going to keep Pleasant City going maybe a couple more times, and then we're going to go into the planning phases. We're trying to get some more artists so we can start thinking. But right now, I don't even have a new theme in my head yet, so I'm not rushing it, you know?
Of course.
Like, you can't rush art, because if you rush it, it won't be right. So I don't know when the next time I'm going to have a new story. I don't know when it's going to come, and I'm not really forcing it. So if I do a play in like 5 years, because that's the next time I come up with one, that's, you know, that's what she wrote.
Now, Poetry in Motion was hot too. Are you going to revisit that, or talk about the differences between the two? Or was there any differences, any similarities?
Very big difference. Very big difference was where I am personally.
Okay.
I personally was in a different place. At the beginning of Poetry in Motion, I was coming into my femininity. I was learning about myself. That was a lot of self-reflection, a lot of things that I've seen in self. So I kind of got myself together, and then when I started getting myself together, I started looking at the world. So, you know, Pleasant City was like my view of the world. But now that I have evolved as a woman, I would like to revisit Poetry in Motion. So that's funny that you asked that, because Abasi, the narrator, he also told me that one of the next things we should do is revisit the first one. So you can see the evolution of woman. So it will be about 3 years since the first one, so it's about that time.
Okay, definitely. Anything you want to say in closing to all your fans? It was a beautiful show.
Just chase your dreams. If you do what you love, then everything will fall into place.
Okay.
It may sound a little cliche, but I'm a living testimony. The first Pleasant City was done, and I had no lights, no water, no nothing, and it still happened. And everything personally worked out for me, but it was because I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. You know, for myself and for my dreams, I believe that that's the karma that happens. So, you know, chase your dreams. It's hard, and you may be misunderstood, you know, people may not get it, but it's worth it.
Definitely. Well, I'm not going to keep you, yo. This has been TNS, Jessica Empress McCready, Pleasant City, the stage play, the show, the experience. More than anything, it was beautiful. Definitely appreciated it. Soul Central TV, Soul Central Magazine, we on the move. Let's go.
Yeah, Pleasant City, EmpressPrestige.
Right.